personalized tennis tip of the week. This week I'm going to be talking about how to get a racket. Either your first one, or if you've already been considering one for a while after training, how to get a better one more suited to your taste after practicing for so long. So there's a lot to think about when considering a racket, such as the head size of racket, the handle of racket, the balance of it, and many other factors. I'm going to try and go over as many of the details as I can with you. For the handle of a racket, you want to try and put your hand around it. You want to try and put at least one finger in between your hand and your fingers. This way you'll know if the handle is right for you. Because having it too small or too big may hurt your hand in the future by not allowing you to get a good enough grip, or too good of a grip where your hand will cramp up instead. The head of a racket can also determine on how fast the ball will travel. Bigger head sizes, such as from 100 square inches to 115 square inches, provide lots of additional power for you and a larger sweet spot. Although with that much more space to a racket, it is also a lot harder to control. Having a smaller head size will not only make the racket lighter on the top end, so more of the weight is shifted down to your handle, but also create a smaller sweet spot, but also at the same time be more flexible and allowing you to return more shots and be more accurate with it. Most of this information can be found on the neck of the racket, where there's small tables provided for you listing what the racket is. Although older rackets will not have this provided for you, you might need to check on the website for the exact model instead. The weight of the racket also matters. If you have more of the weight in the handle, this will allow you to be more maneuverable when running around. Although when you swing, since more of the weight is in your handle and not on the head, it's going to be less power on that end and more up to you to be able to feel that power instead. Whereas if most of the weight is on the end of the racket, on the head, then it'll be much less effort for you to be able to swing and hit a more powerful shot. Back to the grip now. Grips can get worn out really easily, but that's okay because you can always wrap it around with another grip or replace it. In fact, even customize it with different colors, whichever ones you like and prefer. Focusing on the weight of a racket also determines your swing. If you like to swing hard, make sure your arm can do it. But don't get a racket that weighs too much, otherwise, based on how you swing, you might end up hurting yourself instead. At the same time, if a racket is too light, not only will you not get your power from swinging, but you might tire yourself out more, might overcompensate in swinging and injure yourself just as greatly. So it's easier to just find a racket that is of middle weight, roughly around 10 ounces. Try not to get anything lighter than 10. Try to make sure that your racket is at least 27 inches long. Anyone shorter than that, and it's going to be meant for youths. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week when I go over some of the highlights of several games of the last decade. Thanks a lot. See you next time.